Already eyeball to eyeball with Russia, America is about to face off tomorrow with communist China. President Biden set to speak on the phone with President Xi to discuss allegations that Russia asked China for financial and military assistance to help Russia in its illegal war against Ukraine. Both Beijing and Moscow denying those reports of real Russian collusion, but Biden is still warning of severe consequences for China if it tries to bail out Putin. These high-stakes talks coming as worries grow that China might be taking notes from Russia when it comes to expanding territory. Listen to this.
I think what is going on right now is China is literally taking notes on everything that's happening on Russia and Ukraine, right? This is a parallel situation to if they ever decided to go to Taiwan. So they are watching very closely how the world reacts.
I'm clear that Xi Jinping and the PRC military leadership is watching every single move.
I think Taiwan is certainly watching that. I'm confident that the Xi Jinping's not only watching what's going on in Ukraine today, but he's watching us sit at a table in Vienna while the Russians are killing innocent women and children.
I mean, it really seems to me, Judge, it stinks. It looks like China's playing both sides. They're playing Russia, helping them, Russia, the more desperate they get, the more China will give them a helping hand. On the other hand, they want the United States and the rest of the world to say, oh, no, China's pragmatic, China's practical, China wants peace, they're good business people. They're playing us. They're playing both sides against the middle.
I think they're playing us. First of all, they never condemned the invasion by Putin. That's number one. Number two, they initially called the invasion some kind of military, I'm not sure, some
special
kind of
operation.
Yeah, special operation.
Mission.
Yeah, this week they called it a war. So now what you see is that China is starting to recognize that the world is starting to go against Russia. And I think that China has to realize that it's going to be sanctioned as well economically, and it will suffer. And it will suffer if the United States acts quicker than it has done as it relates to Ukraine, because China is our #1 trading partner in terms of export or import. I have the chart
anyway, we
here.
get it.
Yeah, we get a lot of it. So China's walking a tightrope, not just wondering what the United States is going to do. They've already got the message. United States is a
winner. A force for bad.
China's a force for bad. They want to survive. They want to invade Taiwan. They want to be able to survive economically. They don't believe in democracy. They parroted the talking points of the Russians that the reason for the invasion in Ukraine was because of biolabs or because of NATO and a military buildup.
Judge mentioned Taiwan. Isn't Taiwan the parallel? Russia believes Ukraine is part of Russia. China believes Taiwan is part of China. Russia invaded Ukraine. Now China can invade Taiwan. You worried?
No, they're not that stupid. That would be suicide, even worse than what Russia is committed. Taiwan is like the world's greatest chip manufacturer. You think the economy, the world economy is bad now? This is just Ukraine. This is like some high-tech stuff that everybody needs. So if they go in there, you're going to have an economic recession. You haven't seen anything like that. The sanctions that we would hit the Chinese with would destroy their economy. Their economy is already starting to slow down, and they're a little bit worried about it. So I don't think they're going to make that move, but we should just arm them to the teeth already. Don't wait till it's too late. Yep. Don't wait till it's too late. Don't give them any ideas, you know? It was too late what we did with everything in Ukraine. I would load up right now, get the package out the door.
Do you think, Dagan, that China is a honest broker? Do they want peace on earth, or do they want the communist world to triumph?
They want communism to triumph. They have a propaganda machine that rivals, is even better than Russia's. And they've got 1 million, 2 million Uyghurs in concentration camps. The West won't turn against China. The Western companies turned against Russia because it was expendable. It's the 11th largest economy in the world. You have seen companies and corporate executives, Larry Fink, to name one, the NBA, fallen all over themselves to make sure, oh, you can't insult China. You jeopardize our business there. One thing China's probably learned watching what Russia is doing to Ukraine is if they want to take Taiwan, it's going to be done in the dark. No, it'll be a black ops deal, a black ops operation. They will make sure that the rest of the world cannot see what is going on in Taiwan. But Biden, we call it a showdown. It's a laydown. He hasn't even stood up and said to Xi, although Biden lied about it, stood up and said to Xi, you gotten to the bottom of the origins of COVID. And what about the second plague, the fentanyl plague that you've unleashed on the United States? We've got almost 1 million people dead here.
Do you want to talk about that?
6 million around the globe.
Do you want to talk about that?
I want him to talk about all of it.
And the war. It's a lot.
All of it.
It's a lot, Greg. So, Greg, what do you think?
Well, I don't have.
Well, let me ask you a quick question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Do you think that China really asked Russia to not invade until the Olympics were over?
It's a very on-the-nose kind of story, so I'm a little skeptical, but I like the story, and here's a better answer to that, now that I think about it. They didn't think it was going to be a big deal. They thought this was going to be a simple fling. Putin was just going to do this little kind of thing like Crimea was going to be over, no big deal. Now, China has buyer's remorse, right? They didn't count on global revulsion.
Walk of shame.
They got a walk of shame after this one-night stand, plus a foreign policy STD that's not going away.
Foreign policy STD, that's better than the mustache.
Right. You know what? The best analogy for China and Russia is CNN and Michael Avenatti. Do you remember how CNN embraced Michael Avenatti? You should run for president.
So Michael Avenatti is Russia?
Yeah, he'd be a great at 8 o'clock, I bet. He could probably replace that other guy. And then what happens is all of a sudden Avenatti turns out to be a real sleazeball, and CNN is running from it like, it's got like four
Michael
different...
who?
Michael, yes, that's Michael. That's what's happening. I think China's at this place where, like, you know what? What used to be our customer is now a burden. And what do you do with burdens?
What are they going to back China? Is China going to back Russia or not?
It's up to Biden's. I wish he was a forceful, persuasive communicator, because it's really up to him, and I don't think he's up to it. They should be sending Obama and Trump and get Xi there.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.